In today's video, we're going to be applying an EQ block, a noise gate, and going back and forth between everything we've programmed so far to really bring out your sound. I'm going to be using my ALAIN Smith Cyrus guitar. It's got Seymour Duncan pickups. I'm not sure which ones they are. And what is the first thing we learned in video number 1? You got to go and change your guitar. So we're going to do that. First of all, on the patch, you're going to want to scroll right to the end where it says Master. And you're going to want to make sure your input is set to System. That means your guitar, you get to pick in the Master section. On the software Master, let's see, is it here? There we go, Input, System. Or you can pick which guitar you want per patch. I recommend System for now until you really have a grasp on this. So let's go into Input. Let's go into Input. And you can see over there, it's currently on Westone Thunder. There's my Cyrus at -2. And you would have seen here on the screen as well that it changed. And just to show you guys what sort of a level we're getting there. That's where I like it. Just hitting that line. I don't mind slightly over. Okay, so we're going to exit there. Oh, bit of a glitch here, guys. That's a bit of a glitch. Here we are. Bumpy start, but I think I found a bug there. It could be because the USB is connected. Now you hear that's where we ended. That's something I want to get rid of. So what we're going to do is pull the software up to the beginning. What I recommend is before this divider block, you put a noise gate over there. And on the pedal, it looks like that. There's your noise gate. And those are settings I highly recommend, which is threshold at about 50, release at 0, detect input. You still get a little bit, but most of it's gone. You get a couple of modes on the detection for the noise gate, which is input, meaning your actual guitar input, noise gate in, and foot volume out. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Noise gate in, though, I find I never really enjoy using. Even if I crank the threshold all the way up, it doesn't seem to work. But what's quite cool is you can put the input, the detect on input, and you can put it before the amp or even after the amp, and then it's using still the input signal to detect when you've muted to then cut the signal. But today I wanted to speak about EQ. I've been speaking about this technique since the GT100. You want to do a scan, and then you want to find frequencies that hurt your ear and then just pull them down. So let's do it on the pedal. So you're going to see parametric, low gain, that's if you want more bottom end, high gain. So this first page is quite convenient because you can go into it, select the type of EQ, and then you can boost your bottom or your top and your level. And now we get more into each equalizer band. They're called bands, just by the way. So now, this is your low mids frequency. This is where you choose the frequency that bothers your ear. The Q is how wide or how thin. the lower the number, the wider the band. It becomes more like an amp EQ. Then the higher the number, so we can scan all the way up to 16. It's a very small surgical EQ. So what I like to do is use 2 or 3 EQs to do surgical EQing, and then I sometimes will then add in a equalizer on the low Q, meaning a higher band of frequencies, to give myself that amp EQ sort of back. Because sometimes if you do too many surgical edits, you're going to lose a few things which you need to add back. Let's do a 16, and I'll show you what they are. Now I'm going to boost this by, let's go 10. Do you hear that? Makes your mouth go. That's the frequency you're boosting. And then what you want to do is scan. So, like. Your 4K is always gonna bother you. So let's try to take that down by about 2 dB. Alright, now we're going to page to the right, and we're going to do the same thing. Now you'll notice the high frequency doesn't matter. You don't have to use it for high or low. We're going to turn the Q up again. We're going to boost it by a lot. You want to find those frequencies that really jump out. Like there's a lot of bottom end. So we're going to then cut this by say 2, and then let me show you what the Q actually does. Can you hear how it widens? And then you want to off and on it and just see if you've made a difference. And that is the sound of my wireless dying. So you find your EQ unit number 2, click and drag. We're going to put it there. And on this one, we are going to keep it as parametric, but we're going to keep the Qs nice and low. So yeah, on about a 1 and a 1. All right. find a frequency that's quite nice and creamy, you want to play around with it, because that's a bit nasally for me now. So if I pull it in the other direction, I might get that sort of scoop sound I'm looking for. But now I feel like my treble's disappeared, so let's boost that a little bit. I still feel like it needs some cream somewhere. So we're going to try maybe a 4Q. I normally find somewhere around 1.2, 1.6. Alright, so that's what that sounds like. And now we're going to find EQ number 3, which is located over here on the software. And I'm going to just click and drag that in there. Now, we're going to show you what the graphic EQ does. This one is also quite nice. You know, the GE7 kind of guys. Maybe the bass guys will enjoy this if they don't have this already on one of their heads. So what I like to do, you sort of close your eyes, you boost it, and you bring it down to where you feel necessary. And just remember, none of these techniques are like cast in stone. This is just literally what sounds good to my ears where I'm sitting. Might sound like absolute rubbish where you are, but I'm not going for an over-the-top metal sound. I'm just going for whatever feels cool. This tone for today. And if we go back to our amp and just make a few adjustments. And if you remember, I told you your sag and your resonance are very, very important. So for the sake of this, let's see what happens if we start dialing them around a bit. Because it's always, and this is something I tell guys as well, it's always good to go back to where you started after you've made a bit of progress, see how it all sits, and then you make a call on whether you want to adjust something. Like now, I like that bottom end now. And now, if you remember the gain switch, I also mentioned in the previous video that it's one of the most important. Now, check the difference now once you've made a bit of progress again. It almost sounds like a fuzz pedal on that gain setting, but when you knock it up to high. And while we're here as well, let's just check one or two other amps. But as you can see, suddenly different amps are responding differently. Oh, that's too loud. Let's do a finishing touch. I'm quite happy with that. Where is noise gate number 2? It is over there. We're going to use the pedal for this. Somewhere around 30 to 40. A little bit of assistance getting rid of the noise. I mean, this is on coil split. A little bit bottom endy, which is probably because of this. It's just a zinginess in the mid somewhere that I just have to get rid of. Okay, let's go back to our EQ block and I'll see if I can find it. This one? Yeah. Sometimes if you want to get rid of that top end, your resonance, you can push a little bit more. Could be the bright switch. It's almost there. Let's take this one. Let's boost it up. I think I have it in this EQ block, don't I? Oh, let's knock it down lots. See, now a tone like that is so much closer to being able to EQ in a board. Let's pull the gain down a bit. But you see how I'm constantly moving back, going forward, moving back, checking the amp block, checking the EQ. Like I said, I don't want to get too deep into tone design and whatever in this video, but I do feel it's important to just show you guys. If you're going back, there's nothing wrong with that. Compressor, remember that level. We can use this now as a clean boost. So I'm going to knock it up to 60. Let's knock it up to 80. Okay, anyway, that was on 45. I'm not really digging how that is impacting the sound. It was quite nice at around 60, so I'm going to go 55. Yeah, and we are going to save that. Right. Thanks for tuning in, and please consider subscribing so that you know when my latest videos go out. And I'm always open to comments, questions here, down there, as well as on the Facebook GT1000 core groups are. No question is too small. That's why I've started this series, to help everyone get on the same page of understanding just how to work this beautiful unit that is a GT1000 or a GT1000 core. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.